my mentor, Mr. Manish Sharma sir. Welcome to the podcast. After almost a year, हम एक साल से इस चीज को plan कर रहे हैं. Finally, we both got the time and energy to have a literal a good conversation with you. To like all the audience, I can say like coding अड्डा की जो trajectory बदली है is because of this guy. He has mentored me a lot, and I can proudly say he's the biggest mentor in my entire journey for coding Adda. So, like, I know you personally. People from ContentStack know you personally. So, जो नहीं जानता, please एक छोटा सा आप introduction दे दीजिए.
First of all, Adi, you're too kind. Thank you for the introduction. Uh, my name is Manish. I have been working with ContentStack for close to 4.5 years. Prior to that, I come from a consulting background. I work with all sorts of consulting companies like Deloitte. Prior to that, I was with Capgemini Consulting, A.T. Kearney, Ernst & Young. So I've had a long career there in consulting. And then alongside, I was dabbling with startups. And when this opportunity came to work with something like a ContentStack, which was back then when I had joined, it was a Series A company. It was scaling very rapidly. So I took that opportunity to sort of satisfy my curiosity about how successful startups are made and run and taken to a certain level. And we are today a Series C company, and I can proudly say that we are one of the best well-run companies in the world. So lots to learn. I have learned quite a lot with during my journey here at ContentStack. I have especially learned how you build and scale startups, take it to a global scale when there is so much competition. So much competitions of very deeply entrenched incumbents like Adobe. Okay. And how in that market we are able to find our footing. And I've seen it all these 5 years. So it has been an amazing journey for me.
Okay. So like today's conversation that I'll be having and the questions that I have noted down are majorly on businesses. Like I have known the tech aspect of the business. I've got the opportunity to connect with a lot of tech founders. So I know the tech aspect कि क्या होता है, कैसे technology wise हम उसको scale कर सकते हैं. But business as a term is like a big question mark for me because I come from a background जहाँ पे everyone is an engineer. So ये domain मैं खुद explore कर रहा हूँ via coding अड्डा, and I wanted like let's talk more about business in this particular conversation. So according to you, India में where do you see opportunities for businesses?
Good question. There is an opportunity everywhere.
Okay.
I often, whenever I'm talking to youngsters like you, I say that this is the best possible time in India's history, India's, I don't know, 5,000 years of history, where we are finally finding our place in the world. Okay. And especially the next 25 to 30 years are going to be extremely important. I would want to be 20 something in today's India.
Okay.
So today, if you touch anything, if you are dedicated, if you're hardworking, if you are, of course, there is an element of luck. If you are able to navigate the complexities of taking something to the market, offering something that people will pay for, give it 5 to 10 years, you will be probably one of the top 1% of this country, right?
Okay.
Another thought experiment that I often do is today, let's say in 2025, we are a 4 trillion, roughly around, depending on what estimate, what calculation you would believe in. We are at least closer to $4 trillion worth of economy. And everybody, whether it is IMF or World Bank or even Indian statisticians in Indian government, all of us globally believe that we'll double our economy by, let's say, 2030 or 2032, the latest. 7 years, we will double. Okay. That's $4 trillion. That's a lot of money. 4 followed by 12 zeros. That's a lot of money. Okay. Imagine India doubles its GDP. Already we see a lot of signs of success in some pockets.
Yeah.
Let's say if this wealth distribution spreads a bit more. Okay. To tier 1, tier 2 cities and even villages, all the way to villages, right? If this wealth distribution spreads, it's good for all of us. Okay.
Yeah.
And then let's come back to the $4 trillion to $8 trillion thought experiment. today's incumbents, today's startups, right from coding Adda to ContentStack to TCS to Infosys to Tatas and Ambanis and the largest of the groups, Adani's, okay, all of those people, right? They will probably take away as much as $3 trillion, 75% of that growth. Okay? They will not only continue to earn what they are earning, but when they are growing, they will probably take, this is just a thought experiment, don't hold me to it, but let's say they take 75%. There is still 25% available. There is still $1 trillion worth of growth that needs to happen, that will come from startups of today. So no matter what you do, no matter what you build today, give it 5 or 6 years. These 5 or 6 years, if you are to start in 2025, give it time to incubate, grow, take those baby steps, and reach whatever conclusion. Trust me, you will be fortunate for it, for having tried that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So the next thing is like, as I've seen a lot of startup founders, like when they start a startup, they have a particular vision. Like हमें ये startup में हमें ये चीज़ achieve करनी है, कि हमें ये goal है, हमें इतना revenue generate करना है, XYZ. But after a certain point of time, when they get, let's say, they are 1 million, 2 million on like social media following, कुछ elements की वजह से they get diverted from their vision mission, and that I think leads to um, startups failing. So my question is, like, as a chief of staff, since you are constantly connecting the dots between people, priorities, and vision, how do you stay centered while juggling with those complexities?
Everything starts from that vision that we have set ourselves for, right? And to the best of my knowledge, our vision has not changed. When we started, we wanted to be the best company that supports the best digital experiences. Today, our slogan is the best digital experiences run on ContentStack. Okay, so even when we started, in not in as many words, we would have set ourselves that objective, that vision, that goal, and as the time has progressed, every individual we hire, every performance review that we do, it is towards that vision. Okay, anything that we do, any priority that we have set ourselves, let's say we are looking at our product roadmap again. Of course, every product company has its own roadmap. Okay, we started with a single product company, and today we have multiple products. We are trying to become that end-to-end digital experience platform, right? So that we are able to compete better in the marketplace. So I would say it just started with that vision. We took those very small steps back in 2012, when in 2014 we became that we became that brand. So we found some early customers. 2018 we were decoupled out of our parent company. I think 2019, 2020 we raised our first round. 2018 was when we raised our first round, right? So since then, that the wording of that vision has evolved, but overall it had remained the same, and I can see it everywhere in every individual who gets onboarded. That person, after a while, gets aligned to that vision. We are here to design the future of internet, design the future of digital experiences. The way in 2025 one individual or a brand is expecting to engage with its end customer is changing rapidly. Okay, and we are here to enable it. Does it make sense, or do you want me to say that again?
Yeah,
Right?
completely makes
So
sense.
today, even today, right, even after internet being around for at least 35 plus years, there are still technologies that were invented, I think, in 1995. They are still being used today. Many brands are still using it, and they are big brands, and they find it very difficult to change. Okay, 1995 is maybe going too back, but let's say, I will not name companies, but there are companies that came about in the early era of internet, and they are still dominating. They are essentially offering products that have not undergone a major change over the last 30 years. Okay. So ContentStack is trying a very, very different approach. We often call that as a composable approach and all of that. So I don't want to take a lot of your time in suggesting what ContentStack is, but it is really important to understand what is the problem that we are solving and finding if customers are going to pay for it.
Okay.
And finding later on, of course, when you find those early customers, you need to find people who rally behind you in taking that that vision and that movement forward.
Okay. So, do you think like people, not that, but I'll just rephrase it. I have heard it from somewhere like कोई भी एक company होती है, it is known by the people they have. People culture, like कोई company अगर अच्छी चल रही है, it's because of the people they have.
Yes.
So, what do you think कि like कोई भी company का profit हो या growth हो या downfall हो, it all depends on the people
Of
they
course,
have.
yes, it is the
Okay.
most important asset a company has.
Okay.
Okay. And fortunately, we have been able to find some of the top talent
Okay.
in the world, I would say. We have I have, had the good, very good advantage of working with some of the smartest colleagues, smartest engineers. And then on the business side, we have some of the smartest people who have been able to sell a relatively unknown company like ContentStack, right? And today we are serving some of the uh, top companies within the Fortune 1000 group, right?
Okay.
You can find I would suggest that you go to our website, find some of those logos and share it with them, that here is this company that was built in a small town like Virar and is serving some of the top brands of the world. And internally we say that if we go down, as much as 10% of global GDP goes down, right? So to your question, right, that would we have found success if we had not found the right people? Absolutely. And in fact, we are very proud to say that some of the people who started right after college back in 2007, 2008 are still with us. And they are some of the most important key people. And during the course of that journey, the culture that got formed is still very much a part of our DNA. I think finding the right people was one of the most important criteria, was one of the most important reasons that we are a very successful company.
Okay. So particularly when I talk and see about ContentStack, I personally feel like since it comes from Virar and I am a guy जो Virar से आया, and to see a company from a small town like Virar to grow globally, वो मुझे personally लगता है कि नहीं यार, Virar का कुछ अच्छा हो रहा है, and like I personally get connected with ContentStack a lot. So I like follow ContentStack really very closely, you can say. So the next question is like your journey from a senior analyst at EY to team lead at AT Gurney to Deloitte and now chief of staff at ContentStack. I think you have seen a lot of businesses, or you can see, I can say, a lot of trends changing over the years. So, how has your point of view about businesses changed in these years?
Businesses, as in what kind of businesses?
Like the way businesses work, like as like giving just a simple example, like in 2025, many businesses are now focused into integrating AI into their businesses, having more personalization and more, we can say, user data, so that they can actually enhance the user experience based on the data that they have. So, I mean, in terms of that.
Okay. I would say businesses in general,
Okay.
they hasn't been in the way that they do business and adopt technology. If your question is about adopting the latest and the fastest trends, I think there's a vast spectrum of businesses. So there are early stage startups, and then there are enterprises, large conglomerates enterprises, many people, very distributed global footprint, very high number of people, revenues. Okay. So I have observed, and that trend has more or less remained the same.
Okay.
What I've observed is smaller companies are faster to change and adopt. Okay. Today, a company like ours, we have mandated that everybody in the organization, in their day-to-day, have to adopt some AI tool or the other. Okay, we have to look our days very closely. Is there a way I can do my job better? Is there a way where I can adopt a certain AI tool and get more out of my day-to-day, get more efficient? And on the other end of the spectrum, if I'm looking at some large conglomerates, they have banned ChatGPT. They will not allow any kind of generative AI kind of tool, right? Just they have their own constraints, right?
Correct.
Because
Yeah.
they are who they are, right? And
Mm.
there's a very famous book called Innovator's Dilemma. It was published in, I think, 97, 98. That book is a wonderful book. I would encourage your followers to read that book. That there is a dilemma. They are, because they are so large, they have a lot of risks. They
Hmm.
can't allow something that is cool looking, that has just arrived,
Yeah.
just arrived onto the scene, right? It has been 2 years. They're still evaluating, they are talking to experts, they are trying to see what value it will bring to my world. My world is working fine right now. I have adopted all sorts of technology, I have taken
Hmm.
time. So to answer your question, businesses in particular have not changed in when it comes to adoption of technology. There is always this slow adoption curve of companies that will come towards the end.
Correct.
So
Okay.
right now there is this hype. Uh, there's a there's a term that the analyst Gartner uses. There is a hype cycle. So we are on that hype cycle right now, and whoever can adopt AI is adopting it.
Hmm.
Especially tech companies, they are always the leaders in
Correct.
adopting
Yeah.
the latest technologies, and then typically the enterprises that are large, slow moving, they will come at the end.
Yeah.
Okay, but the way of doing business today is a lot more tech enabled, and I think this will continue to change.
Okay.
Some older businesses will go out of business. Newer businesses are going to emerge.
Okay. So the next two questions, I'll just club them into one. I just want you to give us a step-by-step procedure, like for anyone who wants to start a business. Not like कि एक particular domain में करना है, but
Mhm,
it's like कि how do you find a problem statement? कि
mhm,
this is a problem statement and let's say हमने एक problem statement find कर ली. अब वो problem statement में there are X number of companies जो उसका solution दे रही है.
mhm. There is already competition in
Yeah.
it. Okay.
And how do we think about the solution that is different from there?
Okay.
And why should people choose our product over theirs?
Okay.
Like talking about, let's say, ContentStack का ही एक example है. There are
Mhm,
various different CMS providers.
yeah.
And then like आपने जैसे you mentioned like there are some companies who use your product.
Mhm,
So what is the difference or what would be the mindset when you're starting up a business, and what are the keynotes someone should just write down कि हाँ ये business कर रहा है तो हर एक step पे ये keynote तो होना ही चाहिए.
hmm. See, मैं एक टेम्पलेट देने की कोशिश नहीं करूँगा. What I would recommend is, first, when you have found that idea, I think that in itself is a process. Once you have discovered that something should exist and this solves a problem
Hmm.
that market is willing to pay for. Okay, so
Okay.
that exercise takes a little bit of effort. So don't try to build anything in isolation. First, understand whether whatever I'm trying to solve,
Hmm.
is it needed. You may think that few people need this, but is it a large enough problem that many people will be willing to pay for it?
Hmm.
It could just be a problem that you think needs to be solved for a small group of people, right? But as you will
Yeah.
try to build a real business out of it, you would need to really take it to the stage, right?
Yeah.
Maybe,
Correct.
in your city, in your state, in your country, in your region, right? In your global region,
Hmm.
right? So first, you must seek to find that problem which people will be willing to pay for. Let's take the example of ContentStack. Okay,
Hmm.
ContentStack started with this very simple problem, that today there are multiplicity of devices. Okay,
Correct.
so back in 2012, iPhone was already 5 years old. Cloud technologies were around since at least 2006, 2007, right? So we thought that, how is it that we have a very superior computing device like iPhone, but why is it that websites are having to use technologies which were made to serve just one interface, which was the web,
Hmm.
which was
Yeah.
web means a desktop, right? But
Hmm.
today, with the advent of iPhone, with the advent of new inventions like Internet of Things, every
Hmm.
small little gadget has its own IP address.
Correct.
So
Yeah.
with the multiplicity of such devices, we needed a content management system that was decoupled from the front end. Okay,
Hmm.
we thought that all the current CMSs are tightly coupled to this one interface,
Yeah.
which was
Web.
desktop web, right? But if you want to access it on the mobile interface, it's a very different interface. People try to solve. I remember back in the day when I was trying to access Times of India from my mobile device. invariably I would have to go to a page called m.timesofindia.com. And I'm very sure, I don't know what tech they were using, but it was a very different page that was served to me. It had a different CMS probably. Okay.
Yeah.
Why couldn't someone just manage your content once and orchestrate it on any interface, right? It could be mobile web, it could be general web, or it could be a kiosk, it could be a wearable device, right? So when we thought of that problem, that the market was not ready. Okay. So sometimes the product is here and the market is here. Market is very happy using existing technologies, but it takes a while for you to find that product and market fit. Okay. If you have the time, if you really believe that market, you will be able to take the market to a point where there will be a product market fit, you must try to continue to solve that problem. For example, you have been doing coding Adda. You know that I am bringing a certain value, and at some point people will be willing to pay for it.
Correct.
Okay. And you're persisting with it. You know that it has been about 2 years, and how about I give it 2 or 3 more years and see how it goes.
Yeah.
Right? Maybe the product is there, but the market is not ready, and probably at some point it will come together, right? Maybe I've not answered your question in the way you wanted. So if you are a youngster, if you're a 20 something, if you want to start a company, first really understand if the market is willing to pay for your product. Okay. Then build that product. Okay. Don't register a company yet. Don't get stuck with registering a domain or whatever. I think that's the first point people start with. Okay, I'll register a domain. I'll register a company. That's an expensive thing, and it takes time and it has a lot of compliances. Don't do that. First, build the product. Find some early customers. Okay, give your product for free to them. Find adoption. Because if you are able to find some early adopters, a good number of adopters, you don't really need to register a company because you're not asking anybody to pay for your service or product, right? Try that out, get some feedback, and when you hear it, people say, yes, you have really solved my problem. When many people say that, then register a company, continue to refine their product, and then take it to the market. Of course, pricing and all is a thing that you will often discover. Sometimes you will see that, oh, I'm a nobody. Why would people pay for my product? Sometimes you may think that the competitor in the market is serving that product for, let's say, $100,000 or 1 lakh rupees. Okay. And you would think, I am a guy from Virar. Would anybody even pay me 10,000 rupees? And then there is this dilemma, right?
Yeah.
But you can say that my introductory pricing, because if you really believe in your product, if you really believe that you have genuinely, truly solved a problem, you should not hesitate in pricing it right. Okay. If you think that your product is worth 10,000 rupees, but you want to get a foothold in the market, you can offer it at a discount. But you say that 10,000 is my price. I am new to the market. I'm offering it to you for at a 50% discount. Okay. So these are some of the things that you will learn along the course of your journey. And so some steps, and then once you find some customers who are willing to pay for your product, you're finding repeat customers, you're able to build from that base, you're earning that precious revenue, you should hire the right kind of people. Maybe organize your company in such a way where you are willing to let go of some equity. Okay. And then if you feel that I now need to raise money to be able to take it to the next level, then raise money. Okay. Until that point, don't bother asking people for money or trying to hire people, okay, for a salary. Okay, don't do that. Try to really find the right kind of people who would want to be with you on that journey. Take that product to some early customers and then start some of these steps.
Okay. The next question is like a simple 2 words question. Why ContentStack? After since you had been at AT Gurney, EY, and Deloitte, then why did you choose to come up at ContentStack?
Okay, so I did not know anything about ContentStack. Okay, and back in the day when I joined Nishant, the co-founder of ContentStack, honestly, then what moved me was the way the whole interview process worked. Okay, I met the CEO, the CFO, the COO, the CTO, and the head of and the chief of chief people of I think chief people officer was not there. Okay, so I met all of these people and I found them to be extraordinarily nice people, extraordinarily bright people, people who would make you so comfortable. And of course, I came from a very structured, rigid world like Deloitte, right? Because they have refined those interviewing processes, right?
Yeah.
And they are trying to look for something very specific. But when I was interviewing with them, it was more of a discovery exercise. It was trying to figure out if there was a mutual fit. Okay. And back in the day, I was not looking to change. Okay. When this role came, I was like, okay. Uh, yeah, I also remember there was this guy called Rahul Jana. Rahul, if you're listening, I am so grateful to you. Um, so Rahul sent me a wonderful, very well written email that we are mighty impressed with your career. If we were to hire you, okay, what will it take for a company like us? And that really piqued my interest. And then I spoke with multiple people, and out of all of that, not for 1 minute I thought that these guys are not up to something. These guys are up to something big. Okay, they are here to really make a dent in the world. My favorite statement. And not when the offer was rolled out, not for 1 minute I waited, and I immediately said yes. And imagine, I was coming from a very stable background. I had a certain career trajectory going. If you look at my career, it was always in consulting organizations, some of the top consulting organizations. And even within Deloitte, I had found a place where I was building a team. I had a team of, I think, 18 people back then, and we were serving some of the top clients, and I was really at a very good place. And then I just interviewed with this wonderful group of individuals, and I thought, wow, man, these guys are up to something, and I want to be with them.
Okay. So, are there any rituals or practices you follow to stay mentally grounded amidst the chaos that happens?
Okay, so for that, for the longest time in my career, I would go for a run, I would go for a walk. In fact, I have also, in the latter part of my career, last career, I also tried meditation. I did a, an amazing 10-day retreat vipassana. It really changed me. I think I often say that there was a version before vipassana, and there was a version after vipassana.
Version 2.0.
Yeah, it really grounded me.
Okay.
And lately, I think for the last 3 years, I am having to wake up at 5 a.m. because there is a certain situation at home. I have to wake up to drop my daughter at a swimming class. She's training to be a professional swimmer. So for her, I have to wake up at 5 a.m. More often than not, I do my morning ritual. I go for a walk or do a little bit of exercise. I tried swimming for a while. In the year 2022, I was fairly regular, but then it tapered off. But what did change was that morning ritual of waking up early in the morning. I was able to get a lot of stuff done. Okay. Even before people reached office, I was able to get a lot of my deliverables out of the way. Even in fact, I got so efficient that I wouldn't even schedule messages. I would not want to schedule a message. I would not want to send a message at 6 a.m. to somebody. I would schedule it for 10 a.m. for example. Okay.
Yeah.
So I think that really helped me stay grounded. That helped me got a lot of things done. I was able to expand my purview. As you know, not only within ContentStack. I'm in Nishant, the founder that he is, his world. So he's always thinking, ideating. Okay, let's do this. Let's build this. So that's how we ended up building that academy, and now we are building that product at Quest. You are aware. You are very much involved. I think my secret is that that 5 a.m. club. In fact, after having done that for 2.5 years, I read it somewhere that if you hit the gym at 5:30 and you are able to really take care of your health, and then you come back home and you are able to, of course, attend to your day.
Yeah.
You really get that head start. And one thing that stuck with me was when that individual mentioned there are no losers in the gym at 5:30 a.m. Right? So people who care to sleep early, wake up early, attend to their fitness, and then go to work, they cannot be losers. Okay. And I think these last 2-3 years, that has really worked for me.
Okay. Remember a quote that Matthew McConaughey had
Yeah.
said after he won the Oscar. So
Hmm.
he said like people usually ask whom do you look up to? He's like I look up to three people. The first one is God, who is always supporting me. Second one is his father, who is up there having a bottle of vodka and dancing over there. And the third one is me in the next 5 years. So that initially when I was a kid, I was like, क्या बोल रहा है ये? कुछ समझ में नहीं आ रहा है. But after when I like joined this corporate world, like it's all since been a year only, but I now understand like when uh, uh, it's always about you versus you.
Yep,
You
absolutely.
now and you in the next year as well. Like
Absolutely.
when we were students, we had a different kind of mindset. The way we thought, the way we dealt with problems were different.
Yep,
Now we have that courage to deal with the same problems in a different way.
absolutely.
So it's like with experience, I think a lot of things change, and the biggest thing that changes is how you deal with problems.
Absolutely.
So,
Yep.
like the next question that I have is, what is success according to you? The term success.
Uh, yeah, over the years, the definition of success has changed. Today, success for me at where I am today is being grateful for whatever opportunities I've been given, um, being healthy. Okay, as you grow older, health becomes a major challenge. You have to work harder to stay fit,
Yeah.
right? Uh, and I think tomorrow my definition of success would be uh, I should be able to look back at my career and feel that I have accomplished a lot, accomplished a lot in terms of personal growth.
Hmm.
Okay, let me say that again. Okay, I don't want this to sound very frivolous. Okay, um, today success means that yeah, I think you have you spoke beautifully about it. That if I am a better version of myself, so I think at this point it's a lot about you know personal growth.
Hmm.
As long as that is happening, I think everything else is a byproduct of your personal growth.
Hmm.
Okay, as long as you think you are growing personally, you are becoming a better version of yourself day by day, year after year. uh, all everything else, your emoluments, your salary, your compensation, or if you're a startup founder, the kind of revenue goals you have set
Hmm.
yourself up for, all of those are a consequence of your personal growth. As
Hmm.
long as you are growing, all of these things around you will grow. You will have of course, success cannot go without mentioning having a very strong family life, right?
Yeah.
If you are really growing personally, you will also have stronger familial bonds. You will be a good family person. You will be a good friend. You will be a good citizen. Uh, and that to me um speaks for itself, right? It says.
Okay.
And one thing perhaps that is you can add to your last point uh, was that you guys are very young. So one thing that I came to understand only recently was that we oftentimes we beat ourselves up for things that we did not do when, let's say, when I was 19, when I was 20, when I was 22, or when I was
Hmm.
30, right? I think we must stop that. We must forgive our younger selves. Okay, we did what we did, uh, what we thought was right
At that point
at
of time.
that point in time, with the data, with the wisdom, with the body of knowledge, or
Hmm.
or the advice that was available to us.
Correct.
Right. So I think this is a very, very important thing. If I had learned when I was 20, perhaps I would have had. Okay, I'm not saying that as if it is some kind of
Hmm.
regret or whatever. Uh, if I were to go back and advise my 21-year-old self, I would say the same. I would say, what I did when I was 20, I did with whatever circumstances I was in, with the information that was available to me, the resources that were available to me. how can I judge my 20-year-old self going looking back, right?
Yeah.
I am what I am today because those decisions were made, and I'm better for it,
Hmm.
right? So yeah, I don't know how where will you place it, but this is
Hmm.
something I have learned recently. I also mentioned it on a comment on LinkedIn.
Hmm.
Uh, yeah,
Okay. So the last question is like I have not asked this to anyone, but since like you play a very big role in my life, specifically
you're
talking
too
about my
kind.
YouTube journey. So I just want to ask, is there any piece of advice for me and some piece of advice for the audience as well who are watching this podcast?
I think what I'm mighty impressed with you, Adi, is that unlike many youngsters I see today, uh, I go to all sorts of colleges. I attend many startup events. A lot of people walk up to me they often start the conversation by saying that, sir, I have an idea. Okay. And
Hmm.
there's nothing even on paper. They have not even written a prompt. They have not even created a PRD. Everything is in their mind. Sir, I have an idea.
Hmm.
Okay. I want to pitch it to you. I need funding. And to them, during the early part of such conversations, I used to be empathetic. I used to have conversations. I would say that, have you tried building something? Show me the prototype. Show me the POC.
Hmm.
Show me how this thing is going to look like, and show me how people will be willing to pay for it. Show me even before that. Show me how this is solving a real problem.
Hmm.
So what I like about you is you have seen that there is something that you can solve for, and you believe that your viewers are your customers. Okay, eventually as they grow in number,
Hmm.
they will become your advocates, and at some point you will be able to monetize this followership, right? And um, so why I brought that example was that unlike some of those people, what you have started doing is you are creating, you are bringing things to life, and that to me is a very, very, very good starting point.
Okay.
And I think you have been doing it for the last 2 years.
So it's been 4 years now.
4 years you have been doing it. Kudos to you. So there are so many aspirational content creators. There's this friend of mine. Okay, uh, I think he can be an amazing stand-up comic. He has got amazing comic timing, but he just won't do it. He is also the one who will bring hundreds of ideas
Hmm.
in a year, right? He will suggest that, okay, how about we do this? How about we do this? How about we do this? But he won't do anything. Okay.
Hmm.
So I appreciate and what I encourage people is that create. Okay.
Hmm.
Today in this world where there is so much information, there is so much to consume, so much to consume in terms of advice, in terms of content, in terms of, I don't know, food choices. There's so much,
Yeah.
right? And how do you find sanity in this world, right? How do you differentiate yourself?
Hmm.
I think you differentiate yourself by being a creator, by bringing things to life. Okay.
Hmm.
Whether it is a podcast like this or a product that solves someone problem, or building something of your own, right? uh, uh, and I think you and your team has been doing it, and I'm really proud of you guys.
Thank you so much for the kind words. And yeah, and lastly, like, thank you so much for taking out the time. Uh, like to everyone, we have been planning this right after I went to React India, and we are like, abhi karte, hain, abhi karte. Hain." There were instances when we met, but it was like he had come for a day, and at some point of time, I was not available in Bangalore. And now this week he was like, मैं आ रहा हूँ. I'm like, कर ही देते. मैं छुट्टी लेता हूँ, कर ही देते क्योंकि बहुत टाइम से करना था, and there were a lot of questions that I particularly had because since it's been 4 years I started coding Adda. मुझे भी था कि नहीं, थोड़ा भी टेक एस्पेक्ट था, मुझे पता है कि कैसे चीज़ें एक्सप्लेन करनी है, बट थोड़ा बिजनेस का गाइडेंस मुझे भी चाहिए. एंड आई वाज लाइक, दिस इज द राइट पर्सन, दिस इज द राइट टाइम, एंड दिस इज द राइट मोमेंट. Let me write down everything and let me ask you. So thank you so much, sir, for taking out the time, and I hope you had a good conversation.
Absolutely, I really enjoyed. I always enjoy my conversations with you, Adi, and uh, keep creating, keep doing whatever you're doing, and I wish you all the very best.
Thank you.
I wish you the best.
Thank you. Thank you.